Welcome to the Gospel Road. We're going to look at Colossians 3. It says, "If then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is, seating at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. For you have died, and your life is hid with Christ in God. When Christ, who is our life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. Put to death, therefore, what is earthly in you: fornication, impurity, passion, evil desire, covetousness, which is idolatry. On account of these things, the wrath of God is coming. If these you once walked when you lived in them, but now put them all away: anger, wrath, malice, slander, foul talk from your mouth. Do not lie to one another, seeing that you put off the old nature with its practices, and have put off the new nature, which is being renewed in knowledge after the image of its creator. Here there cannot be Greek and Jew, circumcised and uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave, free man, but Christ is all and in all. Put on then, as God's chosen, holy and beloved, compassion, kindness, lowliness, meekness, and patience, forbearing one another. And if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other as the Lord has forgiven you, so you must also forgive. And above all, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. And let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in the one body. And be thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly. Teach and admonish one another in all wisdom, and singing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs with thankfulness in your hearts to God. And whatever you do, in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. Wives, be subject to your husbands as it is fitting to the Lord. Husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. Children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord. And Father, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged. Slaves, obey in everything those who are your earthly masters, not with eye service as men pleasures, but in singleness of heart, fearing the Lord. Whatever your task, work heartily as serving the Lord and not men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward, and you are serving the Lord Christ. For the wrongdoer will be paid back for the wrong he has done, and there is no partiality. Colossians 3. That's what we looked at today. My brain, sometimes I swear, coming off a week, it's just so rough. It says, put on then, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassion, kindness, loneliness, meekness, and patience. I know I talk about this, and I mention how I have my long weeks dealing with home and work. And sometimes I get lost. I'm not sure where I'm going. I'm not sure what I'm going to do anymore. I don't know if I'm coming or going. I have a friend this week who's not feeling too well, pretty sick. And I kind of said something about how they're burning the candle at both ends, and they, of course, snapped it right back at me because I can do it. And of course, then I said, not like I used to, which is true. Not burning the candle at both ends like I used to do. That was something I was really bad at, always running everywhere. Now, what I'm finding today is that if I do that, it catches up with me so much faster. And I'm not able to burn the candle at both ends. Last week and the week before, not that I was burning it at both ends, but it was probably pretty close. Just with everything that's been going on, with all the doctor's appointments with my parents, trying to make sure they were getting to them, and my dad still dealing with his issue that they've not taken care of yet, which hopefully will be taken care of tomorrow. By the way, it's Father's Day, so, no matter when you're listening to this, if you're a father, happy Father's Day. And maybe if you're listening and maybe your dad's passed, to both those that are here and those that are not with us, it's a happy Father's Day to all. But we really need to think about how we are dealing with others. And with that, we need to remember that we're all individuals. There was a song when I was at the gym this week that I was listening to on my Pandora, because that's what I do. I've got this mix that I have on Pandora that I listen when I'm at the gym, and it was T.G. Shepherd, and I believe the song is called, Only One, or You're the Only One, or something like that. But it's talking about, there's only one Eiffel Tower, one Mona Lisa, one Leaning Tower of Pisa. There's only one you. And there's something true to that. Now, with the song, I'm sure it's kind of like the love song of, or whoever it is. I mean, there's two ways you can look at it. Being those love songs, it could be something that you're sharing with someone else, or someone that you're even sharing with God, only one God. But something else that you're thinking is, it's something that you could be telling yourself. There's only one you. There's only one me. See, we need to remember we're individuals. So we're dealing with others at work, when we're dealing with others at home, when we're just dealing with friends, we have to remember that each person needs to be dealt with separately. You can't just have that blanket way. And that's what makes things hard when you are dealing with management, because that's kind of how they do things. Everyone gets treated the exact same. Now, in some ways, there are rules and things like that everyone has to follow. This is the way it is. And there's nothing you can do about that. But when it comes to personalities, when it comes to not really the ways of thinking, but just kind of mannerisms and how you do things, just like our fingerprints are individuals. There's only one. Our earprint is an individual. There's only one. No one else matches what we have there. So as we're dealing with those on a daily basis, we have to remember to have patience. And I do not always have that. We need to be meek. I'm not always that. Need to be kind. We need to be compassion. Compassion, sometimes I usually have. Kindness, in a gruff way, we'll say. But we need to remember how we are doing, so we are helping others be the best that they can be, to really get them to grow and to really expand that horizon, to succeed in how they do and what they do. And it's just a way to remember, and remembering how we can deal with that. I was starting to watch Roadhouse over the weekend, if you remember that, with Patrick Swayze. And he's seeing the doctor, and they're talking about him carrying his medical records, and saw that he had a degree from NYU, and he's a bouncer. He's the cooler. And they said, "What is your degree in?" And he said, "Philosophy." And then of course, well, what kind? Because there's always different kinds. The funny line in that is that you would be expecting, the study of people, maybe looking to be a psychologist, because ended up being a bouncer for whatever reason. But no, it was the search of God, philosophy, leaning more on the religious side. What is it that we're searching for? What is it that you were searching for when you're really trying to help people be the best that they can be as you're growing personally? What is it that you're searching for? Do you feel like you are just kind of out there? Maybe with that being only one you, maybe you're feeling alone because no one seems to be able to understand you. I'm not going to disagree on that. I have my days that I feel like that. Again, we are all individuals, and it's trying to find out how we can really help each other, but on their level. Not on our level, not on my level, but on their level. Not always easy. By no means is it. That's why I said, when you're managing and helping people, it's not always easy because you have to have such a far swing. Even if you have a couple kids, the way you deal with each child can be different because different personalities, different moods. So you can really be from one side to the next. But it's remembering to do that, to be kind. Remember to be that every day. You don't ever know what anyone's going through. You see that meme all the time. You do not know what someone is dealing with in their life. So just be kind. And that was something else in the movie that they always talked about when he was talking to his bouncers. And he's going through the list of, what to do. The fight, always take it outside, never in the bar. And then he's like, finally, be kind. Just be kind. They're being mean to you, be kind. And of course, everyone gets that chuckle because who can even think about being kind if someone's being mean to you? But it's remembering to do that. It's keeping your cool and being kind the best you can. So as we're dealing with this week and as we're moving on, move and do this week with compassion, with kindness, with loneliness, meekness, and patience. That's so important. And to not hold the grudges. To be able to really love one another and forgive each other and share that. That's where that compassion comes in, that unconditional love. Loving unconditionally. It was very interesting. I saw another video this week, and it was talking about guys. If I remember right, it was Chris Rock. And he was saying how women are to be loved unconditionally and kids unconditionally. I'm kind of like going through that, and it's like, but then when it comes to men, you will be loved under this condition. Again, this is showing how we treat each other differently. And a lot of this is coming off the whole mental health month with, dealing with what's going on. And with this particular video, they were talking about men committing suicide so much because of how they're kind of just pushed to the side. And always their expectations are different. And how people deal with them is different. And we have to remember that we're all going through hard times. And how are we dealing with one another? Again, being that individual, being that one person. How do you deal with each one? Again, we all have issues. We all have problems. And certain times of the year, everything kind of comes out to where you focus on and you share that information. And, this is the month for this and this is the month for that. But it's important to try and keep that in your mind. That's the months that they try to make you aware. It's what it is. So you remember the rest of the time. Christmas, kindness, compassion. Remember that year round, right? Colossians 3, that's what we looked at this week. So be sure to read that for yourself. How can really help you as you are doing better, as you're getting older, as you're gaining wisdom, to be the real best that you can be, to help others be the best that they can be. And being better today than I was yesterday, being better tomorrow than today. Always growing, constantly growing. It's Father's Day. I think if it's not raining like it's supposed to, I need to mow the lawn. I need to get that doing. Need to get laundry started too. As they say, no rest for the wicked, right? I can think a lot of people look at me that I can be pretty wicked, but anyway. Colossians 3. Be sure to check that out. If you enjoyed this, you can always share it on social media, as well as find me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all at My Buddy Jimmy, mybuddyjimmy.com. See all the different things that I share, and just kind of remember me in your prayers, if you would. Just lots of things going on, feeling very buried right now and not finding ways to get dug out. It'll happen. Just not sure when or how. All right. Colossians 3. Read that. Also, if you enjoyed this, be sure to give me a rating on the platform that you're listening. So much appreciate that as well. Thank you for listening to The Gospel Road. Have a great day. God bless.
Spinal adjustments provided by Dr. Chad Rolfson. The Spinal Tuning Chiropractic Center is a Des Moines area low flat fee per month unlimited chiropractic care practice. When life happens, just adjust. Schedule today at spinaltuning.com. If you're looking for help with software, app, web development, be sure to check out my friends at ingenuitycompany.com. They believe in their clients. Software development, app development, web development, visioning, design thinking, diagramming, organizational development, strategy. They can help you at the Ingenuity Company. Find out more at ingenuitycompany.com.
The Jimmy Olsen Radio Network.